Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be responding to powerlifting YouTube extraordinaire Johnny Candito. Johnny Candito is a very well-known YouTuber in the powerlifting world. He's been doing it a long time. A lot of his content is really awesome. Seems like a very genuine and nice dude. We've messaged each other a few times on Instagram, and he actually did some content recently where he wanted to know my thoughts on something that he experienced with Olympic weightlifting. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to break down that video, and let's just go right to it.
So, as far as plans on Olympic weightlifting, I've already gone to an Olympic training center. For those who don't know, is when in college, I went to the only university that's associated with an Olympic training center. There's 4 Olympic training centers and 1 associated with the university, and that's Northern Michigan University. And it just wasn't fun at all. Not only was it not fun, something I've noticed in long term, and I would actually be very curious for Zach Tellander to make a response to this, is I noticed that weightlifters seem less happy. They really don't. Like, even online, I noticed it. Like, even the trend of like Zach's channel when he was weightlifting, it was a constant battle that didn't really seem worth it from the outside perspective. But I'm sure, obviously, weightlifters wouldn't describe it this way, or else I would imagine they wouldn't do it. But even when I was very briefly trying it out, I noticed everybody there just seemed miserable and was like cussing super loud when they missed a lift. It probably has to do with the fact that it's such a skilled movement that you're trying to nail and you never quite nail it. And it's just like, okay, I'd just rather build myself up consistently, predictably, and feel great. So that's why I went with powerlifting.
Yeah, so let's break this down into sections. So he talks about the Olympic Training Center, Northern Michigan University, NMU. And first I want to talk about Olympic training centers in general. I think that they're not really important anymore. In weightlifting, for sure, that's just not the case. I think in other sports, I know swimming, probably track and field, and maybe some others, where centralized Olympic training centers really aren't the thing anymore. What you find are clubs and elite teams where elite athletes will go. They'll travel across the country to train with this elite group. The fact that Johnny ended up at an Olympic training center, which might hold a little bit of what we might say clout. It's definitely a fine establishment, but it doesn't really mean that much. Okay, just because it is an Olympic training center doesn't mean it's the best possible training that he can get. Room by room, environment can change. So if he was walking in there and people weren't enjoying themselves, that room probably sucks. Maybe their coach at the time, wasn't uplifting enough. I don't know why. But the generalization that weightlifters are miserable, are sad, don't like their training, I can see that. I can definitely see that. But I can also see it from powerlifters. So I think the quickest thing we can look at is the meme pages. Meme pages for weightlifting and meme pages for powerlifting. There's a lot of self-deprecation. There's a lot of, and self-deprecation isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's a pretty good tool to keep yourself humble. It's a pretty good tool to not look like a tool. And like I said, stay humble, but there's a fine line there. Okay, you have to, like he said, I would rather just build myself up in a knowing way. And I think that's important for weightlifters to grasp. If you're a beginner weightlifter, it's very difficult to say this will be my progress. Whereas if you're a beginner powerlifter, because the movements, you can attack them so early on, right? The technicality of powerlifting is not near Olympic weightlifting. And this is not to rag on powerlifting. Johnny Candito, a powerlifter himself, said that exact thing. But it's a different sport. It's a different mindset. They know where they're going. And when you start, you can know where you're going right away. The trick with weightlifting, it's very extreme. It's like if you get into squatting, benching, and deadlifting, you want to have this mindset of, I'm going to go in the gym today. I just want to get stronger. 1 more pound on all of the lifts. Just 1 more pound. I have these kind of ideas of goals, but I just want to get a little bit better. In weightlifting, it's like that to the extreme. right? Today, I want to get a little bit better at the second pull. I want to impress my coach with my ability to catch and not catch in a power snatch because I always mess that up. I want to be able to make adjustments and be able to fine tune this very little small thing. And that's a win for me. And I collect these wins over the course of years. And then I get better. And somebody like Jonnie, okay, it's very, very difficult to come from a pretty strong, this dude is strong as okay, I'm sorry. I don't know too much about powerlifting. I'm going to say elite-ish. I don't know what Jonnie would call himself. But to come from that background and then go to weightlifting, it is a stark difference. And you would think that a big back squat, big deadlift, big bench press, they would transfer over to the lifts. And they do.
That's all there is to it.
But it's more about the mindset. But it is. It's more about your mind state and how you're able to manage your expectations. And that's a very difficult thing. And if you don't have the right environment, you don't have a charismatic coach, you don't have other people who are just having fun, it's not going to work out for you. I'll tell you guys right now, whatever his perspective of, us grinding in those videos where we seem miserable, it's more show than it is, because like he said, if it was the case where we hated what we were doing, we should stop. We would stop doing it. You gotta love snatching and clean and jerking. That's all there is to it. You have to love it no matter what. The coolest thing that I was able to do was just kind of start focusing on jiu-jitsu, allow myself to get weak and see how I responded. I still had fun going into the gym, snatching, clean and jerking, staying explosive, and focusing on jiu-jitsu, focusing on making good content for you guys. Now I'm back to training a little bit more regularly. I got Dylan in the gym. I've got Adam in the gym with me, and we're going hard and having a lot of fun. I guarantee you, if Jonnie was in the gym with us, he would be having fun too. And, I want to say this too. It's like, I've seen powerlifters who are in the grind and they don't seem very happy, right? So again, it's hard to say weightlifting is just not fun. Sometimes it isn't for people, but what I can say is it's very, very difficult for a powerlifter to come from powerlifting and go into weightlifting and latch on to this new idea of training. This new, very extreme way of training. And yeah, sometimes it does feel like you're smashing your head against the wall to try and break through to the other side. But I can imagine that powerlifting is a very similar situation. So how can we avoid this, right? That's the main thing now, is how can we avoid this space where we have, very angry or pissed off weightlifters who hate what they're doing. How do we avoid that? Well, I can only point to my own training for this. I loved going to the gym, and I didn't really have a basis for understanding the weightlifting culture. I came from a CrossFit background, and a couple of my other CrossFit friends, we started to really focus on weightlifting. And when I mean really, we almost switched entirely to weightlifting, and we would add in a Metcon at the end of training just for shits and giggles. And that slowly turned into competing in weightlifting, and that slowly turned into dropping CrossFit altogether. And while I was doing that, I had no expectations at all. The only thing I expected was, if I train hard, I'm going to get better. And if I'm not getting better, something's wrong here. Okay, something's wrong, and I have to make adjustments. I have to adapt. I have to change. I have to be able to coach myself. And these are things that you should probably do yourself. If you're starting to do weightlifting yourself, be optimistic about it. Don't look for the optimal. Don't be so combative. Just love what you're doing. Get excited to get in the gym and snatch. Get excited to get in the gym and clean and jerk and squat and front squat and deadlift and clean pull and all of those great things, because like I've always said on this channel, we are absolutely blessed to be able to do what we do with our bodies. We are absolutely blessed. And if we can make a physical change with our bodies at the same time, God damn it, is that amazing. So anyway, that's the video. Jonnie, thank you so much for referencing me. I hope you see this, and we can continue the dialogue on another video. I'll see you guys later.